Hi, I'm Alan Wilkinson. I joined the Franchise Development Centre in June 2006. What I enjoy about being part of the team is the camaraderie, the team spirit. Particularly in the early days of being a franchise consultant, the fact that you have a team of people with all of whom have slightly different experience, but all experts in the field of franchising. It's a great support to be able to bounce your ideas and to ask you questions. The sorts of clients that I've worked with have been varied. The great thing about what we do is that every day is different. The fundamentals of what we do are standard throughout franchising, but the companies that we work with vary from multi-million pound PLCs through to husband and wife teams around the kitchen table. I've worked with a variety of different sectors, from gardening through to renewable energy, to heating, to hair products, to clothing retail, and each and every individual business is different. The great thing is we don't need to have an in-depth knowledge of the operations of that business. We take our expertise in franchising and take their operations and franchise them. Is each project different? Yes and no. The fundamentals of what we do with each project is very similar. We use the same systems and procedures, but we take the elements of the business and we make the best possible franchise out of that business. For example, how do we structure the financials to make sure that the franchisee and the franchisor both make the return that they need to do? How do we structure the operations? Do we include everything that the franchisor's business does in the franchisee's business? Are there other things that we need to add to the business to make it a better and more franchisable business? So fundamentally, yes, each project is similar, but actually very, very different. So what's a typical working week? I have to say I don't think there is such thing as a typical working week in consultancy. It will very much depend upon the projects that we're working with, the clients that we're working with, the stage that they're at in the project, the skill base that client has. So no such thing at all as a typical working week. Suffice to say that we will do what it takes to produce the project to the deadline set. So what do I find most difficult or most tedious? I would say probably the writing of the operations manuals, a very, very important part of the project. We spend a lot of time getting to know the client, getting to know their operations, getting to know how their systems and procedures work. Very, very important to have a bespoke manual which covers that in detail. We don't produce off-the-shelf manuals, we don't produce copy and paste and remove the word chicken, add the word donut. It's all bespoke work that we do, and it can be fairly tedious in putting together sometimes several hundred pages of operations manual. So I guess that's the tedious bit. Rewarding, yes, because it gives the client what they need to operate their business. So what bits of the work do I really enjoy? I guess for me there's two elements. Firstly is the winning of the contract, the buzz that you get when you take on a new client, the excitement of finding out about their business, about how their operations work. I guess more of a buzz for me though would come 18 months or 2 years down the line, when you've worked with a client, when you've prepared all of their documentation and you've done all the research and you've recruited their franchisees, and you see 18 months or 2 years down the line that their franchisees are making money and they've hit targets, and all the hard work that you've put into it is actually producing results. So that's what does it for me. That's the great buzz out of it. So how do I get on with the other consultants within the Franchise Development Centre? Absolutely superbly, I have to say. In my 25 years of working career, I've had colleagues, I've had friends in business. I have to say the team of guys that we have here are very supportive, very helpful, and I view them as more than colleagues, but as good personal friends. So what makes a successful franchise consultant? We've talked about the fact that we need the franchising experience. I think that's critical. Having said that, if you're the type of person who likes certainty, who likes to understand that the basic salary is going to pay the mortgage and feed the kids, then the uncertainty, if you like, of the billing cycles of being a franchise consultant might not be for you. If you are the type of person who likes a bit of excitement, likes to, in effect, not know where the next book's coming from, who we're going to be speaking to tomorrow, what we're going to be doing, likes the variety of different contracts at different times, then certainly franchise consultancy could be right for you. To be honest, probably the best day of my working career so far has been the day that I was made redundant. That was about 5.5 years ago. I made a phone call to Bill in the car on the way home, and before I knew it, I was a franchise consultant with the Franchise Development Centre. I now have a work-life balance, which means that my children recognise me when I walk through the front door. I've halved the number of miles I do on the motorway. I have great satisfaction in the work that I do. I can plan my own diary. I know I have to work hard. I know I have to self-motivate myself, but the rewards far outstrip any possible downside to that.